it comes up the other way. Now let me do that again. See it? There's one hill right there. That is considered a long wavelength, or certain things will change. Now let me see if I can get two hills. See it? One here, one over there. Three hills. I don't know if that's three. We got 1, 2, 3. It's about 3. 4. That's real exciting, isn't it? Oh, I tell you, if you have any questions and any problems about what sound is all about, when you got your textbook there in front of you and you're looking at the crest and the frequency and the pitch, be sure you have your slinky out there and work with the slinky, because it's really neat what it can show you and what you can learn from it. Now, if you don't want to buy the slinky, and I think it sells for $1.98 or something, you could always invest in what we're going to show you in the next unit, and that is going to be something called an oscilloscope. I got mine for $200, but an oscilloscope is a slinky on its little screen. So would you want to pay $400, $500, $600, or do you want to pay $1.98 plus tax? So this is the slinky is the way to go. Remember we said that you had to learn your colors? I got some audio tape I want you to listen to. You have to learn to hear. You have to be able to recognize sounds. Now let's just take a listen to this and see if you can figure out what is the sound. I said, Jupiter. I said it so quietly you couldn't hear me. That's Jupiter. You know, the big, big planet out in space. What do you mean you didn't recognize that was Jupiter? You have to learn sounds. You know your mom's voice from someone else's voice. You should be able to know your dog's bark from the neighbor's dog's bark. But that's the sounds of Jupiter. You say, how do you expect me to know that? I never heard it before. Yeah, never heard it before? Jupiter has lightning storms. The Earth turns every 24 hours. Jupiter turns every 7 hours and 45 minutes, 49 minutes. You know, that's so fast it would blow your hair, wouldn't it? Well, the clouds are somewhat frozen on Jupiter. Not solid, but they're frozen, kind of cold. And they rub against the surface of the planet, and they rub against each other, and that causes static electricity. Here's something for you to find out. Static electricity. Lightning occurs in the clouds of Jupiter. We actually have radio telescopes that can hear things in outer space. But now see, you heard something that you have no idea what it was. Now let's listen to a different audio tape, and let's see if you know what this first sound is. You hear that? That's a frog. You say, of course I know it's a frog. But do you happen to know, there was a commercial one time, kid was laying in his bed, and the other kid looking out the window, and every time a car came by, he would say, oh, that's a certain this and that's a certain that. Okay, expert, that was a frog. What kind of a frog? Some of you already know. You say, well, we call that a bullfrog, all right? Now let's go to the next sound. Now you say to yourself, I know what that was. That was a mosquito. No, it wasn't. It sounded like a bee to me. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Yes, according to the audio track, it tells us that it is a bee. A bumblebee? I don't know. A wasp? But it just says bee on the soundtrack. Now, it does sound different than a mosquito, and I bet you know the difference between a mosquito and a bee. They do make different sounds. Nothing to it, right? Okay, so what we need to just review just for a second is that sound is in various locations throughout space. We do it by radio. We do it by light. You can actually send sound by light, isn't it? Isn't that called optical fibers? All right, what we're going to do here is when we get into the last part of our program, I have here in front of me, let me drop them sort of gently. Can any idea what these are? Let me put this microphone up here. The microphone is the benefit so you can hear what's going on, because I can hear it, but sometimes we don't hear it too good. What do I have here? I have a pile of something. Has anyone ever come into your house and tuned a piano? No? Okay. Have you ever had a hearing test? No? Okay. Well, you ever been to a Chinese restaurant? Or you take 2 sticks and you haven't. Where have you been all your life? This is a tuning fork. And a tuning fork, is it for tuning? Oh yeah, it's for tuning. Now this tuning fork and all the others I have here on this pad, they happen to be, some are tall, some are short. Take a look at them here. Trying to get these guys to stand upright. Okay, let me level off the bottoms. See that? Somebody went and cut them in different lengths. This one is taller. If I turn that whole thing there, you see it's a little taller. Each one is a different length because it sends out or puts out a different frequency. Let me just pick this one just to be picking it. And I'm going to, by the way, in tuning forks, you don't hit anything solid because, see, they are spread apart. And if you hit them the wrong way, they'll bring them together, and that changes what they put out. For example, this puts out 349.2 frequency. Who cares? English translation, there's the letter F, meaning the F, the note for F. Let me hear you. Let's take a listen. Hit my elbow here. It's going to hurt? No. If you don't do it right, it won't hurt. Let me turn it off. Now let's try it. You heard that, right? Okay, you can turn this off. I'm going to strike it again, and let's take a close look. I'm going to just mark the spot, and I'm going to strike my elbow with it, and then I'm going to put the tuning fork down there. Now I'm going to take it away. Don't worry about it. Stay right there. I'm going to hit the tuning fork. Now, it should look out of focus a little bit. Just look at the end of it. Let me do it again. Turn it off. Stay right there. The camera is not out of focus here. It is up here, but not there. This seems to be out of focus because this thing is vibrating. Let me stop it. See how clear it looks down here? Because it isn't shaking anymore. So that's how the tuning fork works. You strike it, it vibrates. That's a better word than shaking. And when it vibrates, it sends out a sound. What sound? It sends out a 349.2 frequency sound. Or it sends out, in this case, the letter F. For those of you who are musically inclined, you know, that would be an F. Now let's turn this back on. I'm going to put the tuning fork next to the microphone, and I'm going to turn it like that. Okay, here we go. Turn it off. Did you hear that? You see, because you're hearing double the amount, stereo, and then when I turn it this way, then you're only hearing mono, or you're only getting in one direction, because sound is also directional. When you have a radio station or TV station, you just can't send the signal all out from around the tower. No, there's federal regulations that you have to broadcast or send your signal in a certain direction. North, south, east, west, or whatever, or 3/4 of this, 1/4 of that. That is controlled by the government. In other words, sound is directional. It can also be omnidirectional. Now, this tuning fork when it was making its sound, I could hear it. The folks around here can hear it, but in the engineering booth, you wouldn't be able to hear it because sound doesn't get that far. Now, I had to have a huge tuning fork and really strike this thing where it sounded like an alarm, a fire alarm, or a police alarm going off or something. Then everybody would hear it in the whole neighborhood. But see, sound is restricted by air and by the walls. Sound cannot penetrate as well as, you know, like it. And that's a benefit. Remember in the old movies, the sound and the submarines, everybody got quiet so you wouldn't hear it. Now let's take a look at this again. What I want to do is take all these and see if I can put them in a way I want them to be. Okay, looks like I got it right. I'm going to turn it now and face it like this. That looks good, yes. Oh, one guy's out of place. Hey, you! Move over. Get over here. Now I've got them based upon their length. Tall guy, shorter, 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 and then the shortest. Okay. Is this tuning fork going to make the same sound as this one? Well, I can give you a nice quick answer. This one says 523.8. This one says 261.6. You know what that means? They're not going to give you the same sound. So what they do here is that they give you, this is a set of 8. 3, 6, 7, 8. This is the middle C, like on a piano. Then you got D, E, F, G, A, B, high C. Actually, there's something really interesting about the length of a tuning fork, which establishes if it's a high C or a low C. Now, as we finish up this set, I'm going to take the tuning fork. You just stay right here with me. I'm going to hit my elbow, put it up here, take this, put it down, pick up the other one, and hit it. And I want you to hear the difference. So we turn this back on again, this microphone. Here we go.